Do you remember this politician? The man who could turn an ordinary political rally into pure entertainment?
Nikiwa rais, mawaziri watatumia barabara. Hakuna waziri kutembea na ndege na wananchi wa kawaida wanatembea barabara.
A man whose speeches became national talking points.
Kwani mimi sina akili?
Whose bold statements left both supporters and critics laughing.
Awari is a dictator. Awari pole.
And whose popular phrase, wanasiasa ni kama shetani,
Sisi wanasiasa ni kama shetani,
is still remembered by many Kenyans even today. Yes, we are talking about former Bumula Member of Parliament, the one and only Bifwoli Wakoli. So, what happened to Bifwoli Wakoli? Where has he been all these years? Did he retire for good? Or did life simply take him in a completely different direction? Well, the answer is far more surprising than many people do expect. By the end of this video, you'll discover what happened to one of Kenya's most entertaining politicians and why he chose to walk away from the limelight.
Your neighbor remains your neighbor.
Born and raised in Bungoma County, Wakoli entered active politics with a style that was unlike anyone else.
It's a common among the seminarians that men are called and few are chosen.
While many politicians preferred carefully prepared speeches, he spoke freely, often using humor, proverbs, and dramatic expressions.
Nikiwa rais, mawaziri watatumia barabara.
Whether people agreed with him or not, they listened.
Kuna mwalimu mwingine ananifundisha akafanya mchezo. Nikamuongelesha hakusikia. Nikamuweka mangumi.
And that made him one of the most memorable political figures of his time.
Siwezi weka sifuria kwa kichwa mwanamume. Sifuria mama anapikia niweke kwa kichwa ati chakula ipatikane. Hiyo sifanyi.
His big political breakthrough came in 2002 when he was elected the Member of Parliament for Bumula constituency.
Almost everybody in Bungoma, there are those who are insisting that I run. There are others who are saying I don't run.
Riding on the wave of political change that swept across the country during that election, Wakoli quickly established himself as an outspoken legislator who never shied away from controversy. His confidence and loyalty soon earned him a place in President Mwai Kibaki's admiration.
Hata ile kidogo niwache jameni, kwani mimi sina akili.
One moment, he would be criticizing his political rivals, and the next, he would leave an entire crowd laughing with an unexpected joke or a phrase that instantly became a national catchphrase.
Jameni, nilienda na nyinyi nikaanguka, niko na njaa, nalala njaa.
Making him a regular feature in television news bulletins. Programs such as Truth Meter, Bullseye, and Mirindo za Kisiasa frequently highlighted his speeches, not just because they were entertaining, but because they reflected the lively and sometimes dramatic nature of Kenyan politics.
When I declared to be the president of the Republic of Kenya, people took as they thought I was joking.
At the peak of his career, few could have imagined that the man who dominated television screens and political rallies would one day choose a completely different path.
Nilikataa ugonjwa wa siasa. Nilipoanguka kura, nilirudi darasani. That's why they are calling me a doctor. Me, I'm ready. I don't want to have stress. I'm a stress-free man.
Like many politicians, Bifwoli Wakoli's political journey eventually came to an end in 2013.
If you want to talk, call me and tell me when I'm alive.
At the peak of his career, few could have imagined that the man who dominated television screens and political rallies would one day choose a completely different path. far away from parliament, microphones, and the noise of national politics. But for Wakoli, it marked the beginning of an entirely new chapter. Instead of remaining in Nairobi or chasing political appointments, he returned home. Speaking about that period, Wakoli explained that after losing the election, he simply went back to his village and decided to focus on building a new life. Rather than dwelling on defeat, he turned his attention to business and farming. His new routine couldn't have been more different from the one he had in parliament. The former assistant minister now spends much of his time tending to his livestock, which includes cattle, goats, and hundreds of chickens. The man who once addressed political rallies now wakes up to oversee his farm, ensuring his animals are well cared for and his businesses continue to grow. But farming wasn't his only investment. Wakoli also ventured into hospitality by opening the Kandui Highway Hotel. The hotel has become well known among travelers, especially for its delicious chicken dishes. In fact, many of the chicken served there come directly from his own Engoho Kuku farm, creating a business model where his farm supplies his hotel with fresh produce. Beyond livestock, Wakoli has also invested heavily in tree farming. He owns about 40 acres of mature trees, an investment that reflects his long-term vision. He has even expressed interest in expanding into indigenous tree planting, showing that he sees farming not just as a source of income, but as a sustainable investment for the future. Away from the business, his personal life also became much quieter. A devoted Catholic, Wakoli attends Mass every Sunday at his local parish. Unlike during his years in politics, he doesn't seek special recognition or reserved seats. He prefers sitting quietly at the back of the church alongside other worshippers, a reflection of the humble lifestyle he has embraced since leaving public office. The outspoken politician had traded the excitement of national politics for the peace of rural life, proving that fulfillment can sometimes be found far away from the corridors of power. Yet, even after settling into this new life, politics wasn't entirely out of his system.
Ukweli wa mambo, fanya vile wabunge wamesema. Usipofungua pani paper, it will be a tall order for you to get votes from Bungoma.
Deep down, he still believed he had unfinished business with the people of Bumula, and that belief would soon lead him to make one final attempt at returning to parliament. Even after nearly a decade away from parliament, Bifwoli Wakoli had not completely closed the door on politics. As the 2022 general election approached, he announced that he would once again seek the Bumula parliamentary seat. This time, however, things were different. Instead of running under one of the country's major political parties, Wakoli chose to contest as an independent candidate, hoping that his experience and connection with the people would earn him another chance to serve. He campaigned across the constituency, reminding voters of his record during the years he represented Bumula. Many long-time supporters welcomed his return, believing his experience could benefit the constituency once again. But Kenyan politics had changed. New faces had emerged, political alliances had shifted, and voters had different priorities. Despite his spirited campaign and his popularity from years past, Wakoli was unable to reclaim the seat. When the votes were counted, his political comeback had fallen short. For many politicians, another election defeat can be devastating. Some spend years blaming rivals, challenging results in court, or plotting the next political move. Bifwoli Wakoli chose a different path. Instead of allowing the loss to define him, he accepted the outcome and turned his attention to something he had always valued: education. He later revealed that after politics, he made a personal decision to go back to school and pursue a dream that had been on his mind for years. It was a bold move. While many people associate retirement with slowing down, Wakoli chose to challenge himself in a completely different environment, the classroom. Balancing academic work with farming and business was not easy task. It required discipline, commitment, and countless hours of studying. But just as he had approached politics with determination, he applied the same focus to his education. His decision surprised many Kenyans. Few expected the former firebrand politician, once famous for his comic speeches and colorful political rallies, to dedicate himself to higher learning. In December 2023, Bifwoli Wakoli walked across the graduation stage at Kibabi University, not as a politician seeking votes, but as a scholar receiving one of the highest academic qualifications. The former Bumula MP graduated with a Doctor of Philosophy, PhD, in religion, fulfilling a dream he had pursued after stepping away from active politics. It was a remarkable achievement that surprised many Kenyans, especially those who only remembered him for his humorous political speeches and unforgettable catchphrases. So, where is Bifwoli Wakoli? He's no longer commanding politic rallies or making daily headlines. Instead, he's building businesses, practicing his faith, investing in agriculture, and inspiring others by proving that reinvention is always possible. And maybe that's a legacy even greater than politics. If you enjoyed this story and would like to see more videos uncovering what happened to some of Kenya's most memorable public figures, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next upload.